So there are manual 991 GT3s in the UK. Finally, there are some for sale already, too, but let's return to that discussion a bit later on. For now, it's time to establish just what this latest GT3 is like as a sports car, as a road car, because we've only driven the PDK on track, and, just as importantly, as a fast 911 that fans care so passionately about. To begin with, intuition is to combine the GT3 with a contemporary, however, what might that be? An Audi R8 likewise has a shouting environmental engine, yet would need center, and a grasp pedal, in this duel. A McLaren 570S track packs dispatch intently coordinates the Porsches, however turbos and an automatic make an alternate prospect. 4AM GTS is influenced, if that is the correct word, likewise, in addition to its somewhat plump. There isn't a C63 Black Series yet, however that would definitely confront comparative impediments. For those of you shouting, Evora. Now, hold that idea, it's an examination we're as enthused about as you. For now, be that as it may, there was one evident contender, the 997. The remainder of the Magz cars, the last motorsport 911 with water-powered controlling and, significantly, the last GT3 before this ebb and flow one with 6 manual apparatuses and 3 pedals. The second era 997 is additionally viewed as maybe the finest GT3 ever. These issues are dependably begging to be proven wrong, obviously, however by joining the most power with expertly judged levels of innovation and customary driver request, it turned into a legendary individual. The furore around the PDK, EPAS, 4WS 991.1 GT3 just solidified its interest to Porscheophiles, which was at that point off the scale on account of the other common 997 4 rupees. In the event that this most recent manual can coordinate the 997's tremendous exhibit of abilities, at that point it will be something surprising to be sure. Things start well for the new car. A typical feedback leveled at the 991 since its 2011 presentation, however apparently voiced with every single 911 refresh, is a smothering dynamic development that can influence it to feel somewhat standoffish, skilled, unquestionably, however inadequate with regards to the contribution that gets individuals like us going. Not an issue here. The sit still is irate, the diff gronches, the pen pings, the ceramic brakes protest when they're chilly. To many individuals those idiosyncrasies would disturb. When you effectively appreciate being associated with a car, be that as it may, it shouts aim. Which is astonishing. However, the GT3 does this while holding the correct bits of the 991's development. Apple CarPlay works faultlessly, it's superbly refined at motorway speed and all that you touch feels of flawless quality. Your most loved circuit may be 100 miles away, or it may be 900, neither would be an issue in this, since you'd cheerfully simply drive and drive. Download your playlists, podcasts and book recordings and feel the miles fall away. Also, while the interest of 9,000 revolutions per minute is thoroughly self-evident, the GT3 does and should be at full pelt to start tricking you in. That manual is eminent, with an accuracy and fulfillment that remaining parts unmatched by the standard Porsche 7-speeder. Or then again by any manual, on second thought. Join that with an engine of glorious reaction and you're yet a moment from being helped to remember what you paid for, even at a couple of thousand revs. It has presumably the best electric controlling yet made, handover that resists its weight appropriation and an elusive feeling of reason from how you sit, what you're taking a gander at and what you hear all around. The car never gives you a chance to overlook that it's something unique, however it never overpowers with its status, either. Without having broken 6,500 revolutions per minute, okay, how about we call it 7,500 revolutions per minute, on the adventure down, the GT3 has officially set an impressive standard. The 997 we have here has a place with Fair Joe Draper. It's a 2010 997.2 Comfort with 24,000 miles on it and extremely somewhat cherished by its proprietor. Joe kept it notwithstanding being offered a Cayman GT4 in addition to some money, and it right now sits close by AM2 that he drives each day in a Caterham which he races. Joe's a decent person. His car's great, as well. Better than average. The 997 GT3 looks little, relatively dainty, beside a 991 credit that to the 100mm longer wheelbase of the new car, and the inside feels ages old, outfit lever far down, some somewhat fundamental designs feet still marginally skewed, that grasp doesn't feel any lighter, either. It's been a gainful decade for Lodge improvement. In any case, what additionally hasn't changed, and ideally never will, is the sheer delight of driving a 997 GT3 on a good piece of road. You have to work harder than you will in a 991, however there's a contention to state it's all the more remunerating to do as such. It feels like an old 911 on account of the perceivability you have, the persistence you now and again require, and the sensations returning at you, at that point, like a gallantly current one as it skewers irately towards 8,500 revolutions per minute afresh. It's a rich affair since so much is reliant on you as the driver, with rewards equivalent to your info. There's an openness that originates from its size joined with some extremely grown-up terrorizing from the weight appropriation and the sheer speed of the thing. Furthermore, that ridiculous grip. Getting it any place close, right, overseeing and adjusting everything the car does, feels enormous. Messing up a move or misconstruing passage speed plunges that high to a humiliating low. It remains a test, yet with every one of the instruments there to make a particularly captivating drive. Exceptional car that, Joe. So you know how it goes now, old model trumps new model since it's all the more including, more troublesome, more tractorful, for need of a superior expression. The new car will rev coordinate for you, the four-wheel steer counters that pendulum impact splendidly, the most recent engines can't in any way, shape or form coordinate the measure, etc. Thing is, while this car might be to a lesser degree a 911 than the 997, which was most likely to a lesser degree a 911 than a 996, it the 993, it the 964, etc., as a sports car encounter it's unparalleled. Also, sublime. Also, still chipper scary when the front end doesn't discover by on frosty landing area, really. Certainly, the most recent age dampers keep the body considerably more savagely controlled than any time in recent memory. The ceramic brakes are considerably more powerful. Furthermore, the four-wheel steer does without a doubt mean you don't need to sit tight for the front end of a 911 any place close to such an extent. That being stated, the blend of that new engine with the manual gearbox has made something completely exceptional. The way the GT3 revs past 6,000 revolutions per minute is addictive. Past 8,000 revolutions per minute it's totally enchanting, excited, disturbed and wild like nothing else at a bargain. There feels to be no halting it while the entire car is wrapped in the sort of mechanical wail that'll convey tears to your eyes. Also, perhaps some blood to your ears. It appears to be incomprehensible that this same engine could have been the one trundling along at 1,100 revolutions per minute in 6 without grievance minutes prior. The level 6 is totally savage, with all that work put in by Preuninger and his group paying unbelievable profits. If this is the last GT3 without turbos, what a staggering, extraordinary approach. What's more, you control the apparatus changes. With a lighter grasp and a far superior move than the 997, with the lever nearer to the wheel, as well, you can enjoy whenever you need. The new car can pull away in fourth or will tear through each and every apparatus until the point when your heart calls time. Get the PDK in the event that you should, yet this powertrain truly stands examination with, and this car isn't referenced daintily, a Carrera GT is a comment and appreciate. Furthermore, no one griped about having to physically change outfits and that. So where does that abandon us in this correlation? In something of a scrape, to be straightforward, on the grounds that both are without a doubt awesome drivers' cars. The 997, while not as much as 10 years old, has a conventional appeal that escapes the 991, requiring the absolute best from its driver a great deal of the time. It's proudly bad to the bone as well, uproarious and crude and appropriately diligent work. In the event that is the means by which you like your 911s, then the GT3 is immaculate, and completely meriting its notoriety. It's remarkable. It's the 991, on the day, that is the more vital experience, however. This most recent GT3 is a more agreeable, more refined, additionally cosseting car when you require it to be, yet significantly all the more invigorating when the minute emerges. With its higher limits, those minutes are all the more transient, yet the excite is more prominent in the event that you find the opportunity to snatch it. What's more, no, that was not the conclusion we expected, either. Put truly essentially, the 997 is the best intermittent car, the one to be delighted in most on your most loved B roads. It's tight, agile, and still a cheerful blend of new tech and old rushes. The 991, then again, can be valued and appreciated each day, at that point completely worshipped on the correct piece of road or track. The way it consolidates such fierceness and wanton animosity with relative receptiveness and artfulness is really amazing, a cake and eat it GT3 if a wonder such as this can exist. Normally, discuss a gigantic transmission capacity of capacity brings about a capable however quiet finished result, rather this car conveys to such an extent or as meager of the Porsche GT encounter as you could need at any given time, which makes it a stunningly alluring and stupendously energizing item. Premiums will be paid, in light of the fact that really at £130,000 this car feels underpriced, and spurned purchasers will be cross. However, for the individuals who find the opportunity, this 991.2 GT3 is shockingly better than anticipated. Influences you to ponder. Truth be told, why in the world you'd need to offer it by any means?